The purpose of my Y.O.D podcast is simple, and that's just to help um, as many people that I can, just as a tool for doing so, and sharing my anecdotal, stories and life experiences, and the many things that I've been challenged with and overcome, prevail, and still push on. And that's it. As far as the School of Muay Thai, along the same line, it ain't all about competition by any stretch of imagination. It's more about growth, self-improvement, and constantly working to get better and better and better and better. And it's just a vehicle or a tool to do just that. That's it. Peace.
What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Y.O.D Podcast with the one and only tough is good, smart is better, are you coachable, choose to succeed, and then Ajahn Ruben. And don't forget to visit www.theyodpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, thanks for following, thanks for sharing and watching the Y.O.D Podcast. Let's get into it.
The key to success is not education. It's not luck. It's not already coming from money. It's not talent. It's not. Those things, they help, yeah. But the key to success is persistence. You just don't quit. So if you take that in a fucking direction, success is going to be yours. A drop of water that just don't go away. It breaks through eventually. Always does. Most ain't got the gut to do that part right there. That's called discipline. It's a cool ass word. Everybody talk discipline. And I'm like watching. Those of us that live a disciplined life, discipline don't really come out of our mouth. We just live it. But we hear those keep talking about discipline and we're watching like, yeah, and you ain't doing it. But you keep talking about it.
You mentioned previously how growing up, Soul Train was an experience you look forward to, an experience that took you out of your element for a moment, reminded you of your soul as the music took you somewhere worry-free and at one with the harmony. From the music to the training, when people walk into Extreme Power Gym, they are taken back to the 80s, the 90s. The vibe is intentional, the vibe is contagious. With the balance of outside the gym and all that comes with life, to inside Extreme Power Gym and the medicine that is Muay Thai. Talk about your intentionality behind creating an experience for your students that really impacts the mind, body, and soul.
When Soul Train came on, everything stopped. Don Cornelius got on there and said his piece, and then there was this group and that group. And over the weekend, I was talking about how I remember, the artist Joe. Well, Joe got started there in Opelika, Alabama. He used to sell his music out of, what the hell is it, cassettes and shit, his trunk and whatnot. And there was the black radio station. It was a WBIL FM Tuskegee. That was our thing. There was only black radio station, period. So of course, with that being said, we would hear, all our music per se, because every other radio station was white, played white music, did not play any black music. So, we listen to rhythm and blues and the funk, especially because the 70s was funk, and then the R&B, and then hip hop, whatnot, didn't start till early 80s-ish, I want to say. Maybe late 70s, Sugar Hill Gang and them. And so we got to hear our music and it always uplifted our spirits. And that's been known all the way back, listen to my grandma talking about great grandparents in the slave days. I mean, what the fuck else you have? It's something to make you feel better. And then, so when Soul Train came on, you get to see it. So you hear it, then you get to see these artists. And then Don Canese would always talk to them and get their opinion on this, that, and the other. And the majority of them came from the same shit that we were in. So there was a connection. And so when they would speak, then they would sing. And without them saying or telling us, hey, you know, you can prevail if you work hard, you kind of got that message too, because you said, well, shit, they came from nothing, but they believed in themselves and kept singing. And then one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. At least with me, that's, you know, I'm a high-minded person, always been, even as a little kid, because I'm looking at it going, well, shit, that's a way right there. It's something. And so then you get into the groove of the music, you know, and how we just kind of pick up the rhythm and the beat anyway. My energetic ass, I jumped right up and just started dancing my little ass off. I know what the fuck I was doing, but I couldn't sit still. And it was a beautiful escape, you know, and I mean, I'm not the only one. It's just one of them things, you know, we as Black people tend to just naturally know how to fucking dance. Ain't saying you're going to be great at it, but there's just this, it just seemed to be a natural thing to just have rhythm, and you just do it. And so, you know, I mean, like all of the artists you can think of, you know, they would get up and speak, male, female, kids group. It made no difference. And that was the shit, you know. And then I listened to a lot of my white friends and whatnot, and they'll say, you know, whether they were supposed to or not, especially if they was in a bigoted family, they, you know, talk about it now and shit, and they're like, fuck yeah, Soul Train came on, shit, we had to watch that shit, because y'all know how to dance kind of thing. You know, it's like we learn how to, like, oh shit, look at that, you know. And I go, you know, cool, it is what it is. It ain't nothing to fucking argue about. It just is what it is. So that's the beauty of it. And so inherently, I want to say over time that has transferred throughout, in that I learned by default. And granted, it's my soul. Clearly, it's my soul to find a way to do better, no matter what. It's just my thing. So I learned then, well, let's take all these lemons and make lemonade, instead of, you know, swimming the bad and swimming the depression of it. You know, use it as a fuel, or as I like to say, and as Mariana ran into, and I told her, I said, listen, the thing I learned how to take all that stuff that's potential poison, and I made it medicine. That's why signs throughout the gym say medicine room. So my vibe, my mantra, my message, it's all one and the same. It hasn't changed. So when you asked, that was a simple question, but it was loaded as hell. So now let's fast forward to now, when individuals who come in the gym, it's still the same thing. You know, the R&B or the hip hop, you know, the rap. And I try to do my best with the modern stuff. The modern, my biggest problem with the majority of the modern music is not driven from a house of, there ain't a whole lot of soul in it. It's a lot of try to sound hard, and it's popcorn. There's no depth to it. And almost every great musician, every great artist says the same thing. The best of art comes from the worst of times. Most people, when they make the most beautiful of painting, it comes from some place of deep despair and depression. Something bad happened. The best of love songs come from someone that's been severely heartbroken. The best of I don't know, you name it. It usually comes from a place of deep grounded struggle, and it brings about the prettiest thing. It's kind of like that whole that Buddhist saying. It says, "No mud, no lotus." The lotus flower is one of the most beautiful flowers, period. It grows out of mud. That's like 100. It's putting that to the infinite degree. Without mud, there won't be a lotus. That kind of thing. So you know, you can you know, like you said, the phoenix from the fire. Shit, there was another I was thinking, but either way, it's along the same line. And so greatness comes from struggle. There's a point to everything. There's a story that's being told. Sometimes it's we watched this thing over the weekend. Quincy Jones, he was talking about how a lot of people want to give rap a hard time, but if you sit down and listen, especially, and I always said it, like with Tupac and Biggie, they're explaining the reality of the inner city. Don't just, oh, they talking about that rap shit and the gang banging and this and that. Okay, dumb. You're getting an education on what the hell's going on that you don't know. The news says one thing, you know, like I was saying, how on the Black History, Black Excellence series, when my dad had said that the news has this tendency, when they talk about us black people, it's always negative. Always negative, always negative. And then if a black person does something, the first thing out of the pastor's mouth, black male, they put a strong emphasis on black. A white person does something, they don't say white, they'll just say a man, a male, a female. So you're guessing, well, wait a minute. Well, if you know the way they do things, they ain't putting the color on it, so that must be white. They're trying to soften the blow. But if it's black, we got to make that tone dark and bad and this and that. Well, listening to the rap and the hip hop, when they explaining what it's like and why, what drives it, no one says it's right. It doesn't change the fact that it's still fucking true. You want to learn or not? At least with this, you come in the mindset and the environment. Hey, we used to say, I don't know if y'all say it, but we used to say we're going through it, not through. So you're going through it. Well, you're in here, all right, let's work through that shit. There's just way too many, what I see a whole bunch of millennials, and I see less that just don't get it and just don't care. They ain't asking the questions you ask. They ain't thinking the things you think, and just don't get it. And it's like, when I say in here, sometimes when I'm teaching, I'm watching, I can see the attitude of some people. I say, you know, we all age out, right? There's this weird, to me, this weird environment, like, oh, I get it from a Buddhist perspective and a high mind perspective. There's the eternal now. Yeah, but the now is a continuum in time. It doesn't stand still. Each day we age, we change. The only way to stop aging is when you pass away, and that's coming too. Just when and how is the question. But once you get past a certain point, then what? Then what? The whole, well, I'm just going to be completely different. You know, damn near every generation think that shit is the dynamic of family, the dynamic of work, the dynamic of, you know, at a certain point, there's only so much certain things you can do, and then what you're going to do kind of thing. I mean, it's almost insanity. But I feel like I'm staying on course, but, you know, with the availability of information, stupidity is increasing, in my humble opinion, more than intellect. But then there's this other weird pendulum of intellect that is too much intellect because of, well, I push a button, I got this. No, you read something. Do you really understand what you read, though? Like, it's just, everything's just all over the map right now. So, and then the powers that be, back to how Dave Chappelle said, you know, the age of spin. There's this wand of sophistication that, well, it's kind of like with marketing. You know, you keep saying a certain thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. It's just psychological to break into the subconscious to make you consider purchasing something. They, in the 50s, 60s, whatever, and they call it ad campaigns. A campaign is like a battle, preparing for war, the warfare of the mind. I want you to buy the fucking product. I want you to buy the fucking product, buy the fucking product. It's the same with this shit. It's a campaign of who fucking cares, and money, power and position. I reshared a meme I'd found, you know, where it says something about, you know, the Holocaust at one time was legal, slavery was legal, and all this other shit was legal. And legality had nothing to do with right or wrong. It's about power. So think on that. So if you persuade the mind to be foolish enough to not pay attention, be distracted, sign off on some shit, then you authorize someone power over you, but you don't realize you did that. In my humble opinion, from a big view back, I see a lot of that constantly going on. That's the goal. It's like, how can the younger generation now more educated than any generation ever was and making dumb decisions left and right? And I'm just watching it. Just watching this ridiculousness go on. But again, back to, you don't know what you have until you lose it. But some people need to go through, so then they finally do get it and they wake the hell up and go, oh shit. Oh shit. Well, so like I said, I ain't wishing bad, because with the way I see it, and the majority of people just so pussified, they ain't got what it takes to survive anyway. They just don't. But that's neither here nor there. There's nothing I can do about it. Or what's your limitation? Like I say with myself, it's like, okay, well, I done peaked at a lot of things physically in my past. I've done a lot within this field. I'm still doing a lot. I love what I do, but it's like, okay, well, what's next? I don't know. My thing is, I want to find out what my full potential is. Well, that's going to come with me waking up every day and doing my best and keep doing it. Nature does its own thing. So you're damn right. As far as I'm concerned, that's intentional. I wake up intending to do better.
No matter what, always, always, always believe in yourself. If you don't have a good opinion of yourself, it's impossible to perform well. Think about that. Think hard about that. If you don't have a good opinion of yourself, it's impossible to perform well. I'm not saying cocky. I'm not saying arrogant. Confidence. And I say it all the time. Believe in yourself. And don't you dare listen to somebody say, oh, you can't. They say you can't. You say, well, why? And usually they can't explain it. That's because that's how they think. It don't mean you have to think that way. If you win, you win. But if you lose, you learn. So don't look at it like it's over.
I ain't got 5 faces. I got one face. That's integrity and honesty and forthrightness. Just be that way. Don't come sideways. I don't care. It's just be genuine, I guess is what I'm saying. But that's center. You just center. So it doesn't matter what goes on, how you handle it is from your center perspective. But if you got 4 different faces or different ways you carry on, well, you got to go through a Rolodex. All right, well, I guess I'll act this way dealing with this, and then I'll act that way dealing with that. But people do that, though. People do. And believe it or not, even in here, I watch sometimes, like some people in certain settings, because they want to be perceived a certain way. And I'm like, just be yourself. You're working so hard trying to do this and come off this way. And I'm like, I'm kind of Yoda with my eyes. I'm seeing through it. I'm seeing the act. I'm like, that ain't you. Your central you is this. Just be that and leave the shit alone. You can't, it's almost like I don't know, I guess in simple terms, wearing a mask. You can only dress that mask up so many different ways, and then you got to get a new mask. But yourself, you just maintain and grow and evolve. It's not the same. So, but to do that, that takes refinement though. And that takes work, just like with the damn kick or the punch and whatnot. If you got a jab, like you really got a jab. It's just one punch. But you can throw that goddamn thing 20 motherfucking ways though. And the person that's watching ain't sure exactly where that jab going, when is it going, full speed, half speed, double pump, triple, you glide in, glide back, glide in again, feint. What are you going to do? Because centrally it looks the same, but you've done it so many goddamn times. And it could be the same thing with the push kick, round kick. It make no difference. That's how refined it is. It's coming from one thing. I remember for the longest time, way back when I had the goddamn, and Brandon Bonda, he was a 42-0 when he came to me. He was a California State ISK light heavyweight champ, semi-pro, 42 or 41-0. Like, that's a lot of fucking fights and no losses. And Cowboy and I were still in our prime years, and I was the majority of my energy I was working with Cowboy because he was like the highest level guy at the time. And so it took that, and then the rest I would get around to as I could. And I was doing my workout one day. Brandon walked by, and he's like, "Damn!" I'm like, "What?" He said, "I love that jab you got." I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I want to see what that's like in sparring one of these days." I'm like, "Okay." I just, not that he's being a dick. It was just, it was sincere curiosity, you know. And then I don't know. I was training to get ready for a fight, whatever. And I go, "All right, we'll go ahead and spar." And I really want to say, I think back now on so much stuff I did. We weren't thinking to film everything. These days, if it ain't filmed, it didn't happen. Just ridiculousness. But I really do wish a lot of different things I've done was filmed. And we get done. No, we did four rounds. And he was so frustrated. He's like, "Damn." I'm like, "What?" He said, "I don't know how to spar you." And I think Ron was hanging out watching. And I said, what did I say to him? I said, "If I get in the ring with you," I said, "you ain't." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Before I get in the ring with someone, I already know I can beat you." I said, "Otherwise I will get in the ring." I'm at that point. I'm like, I'm too old and this and that. Not old, but I was still in the game, but able to just read and sense. And the thing is, all I was doing was actually giving him what he said he wanted. The most effective thing I was using was my jabs. In 4 rounds, he didn't even pick up on that. He didn't even pick up on it, you know. And then I trained, and he 100% trusted me from that point on. I trained and went from that. We got 2 more national titles, different weight classes, cruiserweight division. And you know, he as an amateur, he was something. But the fact that it came from this same central point we're talking about here, that one thing. It wasn't Cowboy that whipped the dude with combo 1. It was some other guy, because we were up there, and Fabian had finished his fight, and Hollywood Park, and Kevin had finished his fight. So we were just sitting watching fights. And there was some guy that was fighting for a state title at the time. And granted, I want to say the majority of people in the audience didn't even pick up on it. Hell, Ron didn't even pick up on what was going on. I didn't pick up on, I knew something was odd. First round feel out, whatever. Then the second round got a little more sophisticated, but it was still a little awkward. I'm like, what am I, something just wasn't jiving. Right toward the end of the second, I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way. I thought what he was doing was tagging the dude with the jab, or setting up shit with the jab, and he would right kick the shit out the dude, or make the dude think he was gonna come with that right kick, and he would either go to grab it or do some more shit he wasn't supposed to, and he'd nail him with the fucking jab again. It was, when it's all said and done, it was combo 1. Then the third round, I watched it. I said, "Holy shit, it is." And I said, "Ron," I said, "This dude whooping this guy's ass with combo 1." He's like, "Bullshit," because it was a very entertaining fight. Dude would come with everything in the kitchen sink. The other guy, he would catch it, make him miss, block it, nail him. Like, it was, it was so scientific. And then toward the end of the third, I went, "Holy shit, you're right." I said, "Keep watching." They never got that. It's just that's center for your ass right there.
Y.O.D. 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 Oh, you ain't heard about Y.O.D.
I guess I remember there was a captain over in Okinawa one time, and I didn't even work for the guy. We were both in the gym. I'd see him from time to time, and he had talked to somebody, another friend of mine. He was like, and the other buddy told me what the captain had said about me. He said, "Man, dude said, that's on Rowell." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You know who that?" He said, "You know who or what?" 96, so kind of rough height. He said that man's God is achievement. That's that man's God. So that dude, he wakes up and he's goal oriented, and I got this I'm gonna achieve, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do the other, and systematic about all of it. And I ain't stopped since, and I won't stop. The way to do it, and I got this from Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. It's specific, it's that book. And, you know, for those that's listening, don't take it like it's a black and white thing, but it is a black and white thing. There's two books. There's Think and Grow Rich, then there's the other one, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And in there, and just instead of me getting into it, those if you're new and listening, go read both. That'll answer whatever weird questions you may have. But anyway, back to my point. Oprah Winfrey said in there, Bo Jackson said in there, those two really stick out. And you know, probably because they're from Alabama too, you know, got that in common. And they said how, and I've said this before somewhere back in the past, we were talking about something with the podcast, and the key to success is not education, it's not luck, it's not already coming from money, it's not talent. It's not, those things, they help, yeah. But the key to success is persistence, 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 persistence. You just don't quit.